أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
We are continuing our recitation from Surah Al-A'raf, verses 150 to 155 on page 169. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولما رجع موسى إلى قومه غضبان أسفا قال بئس ما خلفتمون من بعدي أعجلتم أمر ربكم وألقى الألواح وأخذ برأس أخيه يجره إليه قال ابن أم إن القوم استضعفوني وكادوا يقتلونني فلا تشمت بي الأعداء ولا تجعلني مع القوم الظالمين. قال رب اغفر لي ولأخي وادخلنا في رحمتك وأنت أرحم الراحمين. إن الذين اتخذوا العجل سينالهم غضب من ربهم وذلة في الحياة الدنيا وكذلك نجزي المفترين. والذين عملوا السيئات ثم تابوا من بعدها وآمنوا إن ربك من بعدها لغفور رحيم. ولما سكت عن موسى الغضب أخذ الألواح وفي نسختها هدى ورحمة للذين هم لربهم يرهبون. واختار موسى قومه 70 رجلا لميقاتنا فلما أخذتهم الرجفة قال رب لو شئت أهلكتهم من قبل وإياي أتهلكنا بما فعل السفهاء منا إن هي إلا فتنتك تضل بها من تشاء وتهدي من تشاء أنت ولينا فاغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الغافرين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. So Prophet Musa has been away for less than 40 days, and the Bani Israel have already started to worship a calf. After seeing all of the miracles and ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after being delivered from Fir'aun and the cronies of Fir'aun. And Prophet Musa is informed by Allah that this is what your community is doing now in your absence. So as he is coming down, he is already angry, even before he has seen them and what they are doing. So the Qur'an says, وَلَمَّا رَجَعَ مُوسَى إِلَىٰ قَوْمِهِ غَضْبَانَ. And when Prophet Musa returned to his community in the state of rage and anger. Now, do prophets of God get angry? Yes, they do get angry. But their anger is not like our anger. Sometimes when we get angry, we no longer have control over our anger. Our anger dictates our decisions. They have control over their anger. And they actually use their anger sometimes for a purpose. One of the scholars was mentioning to me that he was sitting with another great scholar whom I know in Iran right now. And his son had done something that he should not have done. And they had a very close relationship, the father and the son. The son loved the father, and the father loved the son. So when the son came in, the father did not say anything to him. He just showed a little bit of anger and disappointment. And that's it. He wouldn't talk to him. He looked at him upset. And the son turned around, and right away he realized his mistake. And he felt so bad because he wanted the love of the father that immediately he went and rectified himself. The scholar says, I saw this great scholar, the moment his son turned around, he smiled. Because he had control over his anger, he was putting on a show for him. Prophets of God were like that. And you see over here as well, Ghadban Asifa. Why was he angry? He was not angry out of rage or out of revenge or out of hatred. Asifa. He felt sorry for them. He was sad for them. That how could they come so low when God had given them the opportunity to go so high? But the other thing we have to remember is that our response has to be measured according to the issue itself. Sometimes what we do as human beings is it's a small issue and we make a big deal about it. There wasn't enough salt in the rice and there's a huge discussion on the table about it. And sometimes it's a big issue and we don't make a big deal about it. So the person who is looking at us, he says, okay, he said all of these things, but if it was a big issue, he would have made a big deal about it. He would have, hit some pots and pans around, for example. The Prophet of Allah, whenever he saw something really wrong, he used to make a big issue about it. There's one hadith that I won't normally narrate. And again, we have to look at the authenticity of the narration as well. But it is said that during the time of the Holy Prophet, there was a community that was living not too far away from the masjid, but they would not come for Jama'ah prayers. And they would not come because they were making light of the Jama'ah. And the Prophet of Allah got angry, so he said, go and burn down their houses. Yeah. I'm not going to be mentioning that at a Jum'ah khutbah or Thursday night lecture, but I mentioned it to you because, we've been learning together. It is mentioned in the books that that's what the Prophet said to do. Okay. So he showed a response that he felt was equal to what they had done. They had insignified the mosque, the Jama'ah, the Prophet of Allah, the community of the believers. The Prophet said, well, this is what the response is going to be. Okay. Now, when Prophet Musa comes back, even his anger is equally measured. His community has not just broken any law, they have turned into idol worshipping. So what is his response going to be now? Let's read. قَالَ بِئْسَ مَا خَلَفْتُمُونِ مِنْ بَعْدِي. Firstly, he verbally says to them that I do not support what you have done. What a bad condition you have created in my absence. An absence of a few days. أَعَجِلْتُمْ أَمْرَ رَبِّكُمْ. Haven't you made haste in judging the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? For 10 days God left you without an answer and you turned away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't you think you made some haste? And all the time God had a plan for you. Isn't that what happens to us as human beings? We make dua once, twice, 3 times. It doesn't get answered in 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month. Very quickly we make a decision that if I'm not going to get it in the halal way, I'll go and get it in the haram way. And all the time God has a plan for us. أَعَجِلْتُمْ أَمْرَ رَبِّكُمْ. Now how does he show his anger? Look at what he does. So when he went up there, he was given the tablets. The tablets contained Tawrat. The Tawrat was very precious, right? This is what he got after 40 days of praying and isolating himself. This is supposed to be a means of guidance for the Bani Israel. This is their Qur'an. And what does he do? وَأَلْقَى الْأَلْوَاء. Takes the tablets and throws them down. Strikes them onto the ground. Measured anger. What's he trying to say to them? He says, what's the point of these practices and the furu when you have broken the usul? When you have turned to polytheism, what is this supposed to do for you now? Nothing. And then he turns to his brother. And I say, poor Prophet Harun felt the brunt of Prophet Musa at that time. Sometimes you're in a gathering and you really want to be critical to the people who are there. But at the same time, you don't want to push them away. Because some of them are good people. They were going to seek forgiveness from Allah, they got confused, they want to come back. So who do you pick on in that gathering? You pick on the person who's closest to you. Because no matter what you do to him, he's still going to be with you. And it turned out to be his own brother. So look at what it says. It says, وَأَخَذَ بِرَأْسِ أَخِيهِ يَجُرُّهُ إِلَيْهِ, held on to the head of his brother. In another ayat of the Qur'an, from his hair and his beard, and he dragged him towards himself in public. He does that, and just to create a scene over there. In fact, we're told sometimes when Imam Ali alayhi afdalu salati was salam, Nahj al-Balaghat is mentioned, by the way, sometimes when he was giving a lecture and he wanted to grab people's attentions, it says, ثُمَّ ضَرَبَ عَلَى لِحْيَتِهِ الْكَرِيمَةِ. Then he started to strike at his beard, his noble beard, right? To create that scene. That's what Prophet Musa was doing. Now, Harun, looking at this, he has a difference of opinion with Prophet Musa. It's very interesting, Allama Tabatabai mentions over here that prophets of God, in the tafsir of this verse, it says prophets of God can have a different style of leadership. The laws that they present are from Allah, the ahkam they present are from Allah, but their style of leadership sometimes can be a little bit different. Okay? He's telling Prophet Musa, I don't think this is the right way of trying to reprimand the people. But how does he do it? First, he has to bring that anger down. So he turns to him and says to him, Yabna Umma, son of my mother. He doesn't say my brother. He doesn't say son of my father. He says son of my mother. We share the same mother. For the sake of our mother, let go of me. Yabna Umma. Another place, La ta'khudhni bilihyati wala bira'si. It mentions don't hold me by my head or by my beard. But then he explains himself. He says, Ya Musa, Innal qawma, surely the people, istad'afuni, they thought of me to be weak. I did not have many supporters. I could not have stopped them. I could not have fought against them. I had no option but to be tolerant of them. وَكَادُوا يَقْتُلُونَنِي, they were about to kill me. What else could I have done? Did you want me to die for no reason? فَلَا تُشْمِتْ بِيَ الْأَعْدَاءِ, then don't treat me in a manner that would please the enemies of God. Don't treat me in a manner that my dignity would be lost. وَلَا تَجْعَلْنِي مَعَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ, and your anger should be directed at those people, and I am not one of those people. So Prophet Musa turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first thing that he does is he seeks forgiveness from God. He says, Oh Allah, forgive me and forgive my brother. My question to you is, has he done something wrong that he's seeking forgiveness? Has his brother done something wrong that he's seeking forgiveness for him? So why is he seeking forgiveness? As an example for others? Okay, what? Yes? Because he got angry perhaps and he's seeking forgiveness for that. Okay? Another reason? Yes? Because
he wanted Allah to
forgive those people who had turned away, right? And that's a good answer, and that has been mentioned in the tafsir as well. But the first thing it shows you is if we assume that he is seeking forgiveness for the others, those who have turned astray, okay? Or for example, sometimes, even though you haven't done anything wrong, and others have done something wrong. Let's say a guest comes to your house, and the children, they do something to insult the guest. What will you do? You will seek forgiveness, right? You say, I'm so sorry, you excuse me, I apologize for the sake of my children. I didn't train them well. Prophet Musa, maybe apologizing to Allah and seeking forgiveness for the sake of the Bani Israel, saying, perhaps I failed to train them well. Okay? But look at this. Just because a prophet of God seeks forgiveness doesn't mean that he has committed a sin. And if you see that in other places of the Quran, the Prophet Musa or Prophet Adam or Prophet Dawood or Prophet Sulaiman, they're seeking forgiveness, or the Prophet of Allah is seeking forgiveness, it doesn't mean that he has committed a sin. My Lord, forgive me and forgive my brother, وَأَدْخِلْنَا فِي رَحْمَتِكَ, and enter us in your mercy, وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ, surely you are the most merciful. Now I'll go quickly through the rest of the tafsir. There seem to be two groups over there. One group that remained stubborn, and they did not want to seek forgiveness, and they continued to worship the calf. And a second group that sought forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now one of the questions we always have is, if a person turns away from Islam, and then later he wants to come back into the folds of Islam, will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept him or not? These were people that turned into idol worshipping, into calf worshipping. Did God accept them or not? Let's look at the next two verses. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ اتَّخَذُوا الْعِجْلَ, surely those who took the calf as a Lord and they worshipped him, سَيَنَالُهُمْ غَضَبٌ مِّن رَبِّهِمْ, the wrath of Allah is going to come down upon them. وَذِلَّ, and indignity. When? In the hereafter? No, fil hayatid dunya, in the life of this world. They'll walk around with an inferiority complex. They'll always think that others are better than them. They will seek those things which are very lowly things. They will act according to their whims and their own desires instead of acting according to their aql. وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُفْتَرِينَ, and this is how we deal with those who fabricate a lie to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As for those who believe, وَالَّذِينَ عَمِلُوا الصَّيِّئَاتِ, and those who perform bad deeds, ثُمَّ تَابُوا, and then they seek forgiveness in بَعْدِهَا, after that, وَآمَنُوا, and then they have faith once again in Allah, إِنَّ رَبَّكَ مِن بَعْدِهَا لَغَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, surely they will find God to be forgiving and to be merciful. وَلَمَّا سَكَتَ عَن مُوسَى الْغَضَبِ, when the anger subsided, أَخَذَ الْأَلْوَاحِ, he picked up the tablets once again. Those tablets were important. I'll end with this one point. The next verse we will look at it inshallah tomorrow. Okay. You know, on Thursday night, we say that you don't just want to change the behavior of your children, you want to change their character as well. Because when you are gone, the only thing that guarantees that they will continue to behave in the same way is if they have the same character for it as well. Prophet Musa left his people for about 10 days extra, and already they turned into calf worshipping. And he realized right away that their mind has still not been trained. They just came out of Egypt. He hasn't had the opportunity to train them, to make them muwahhid. So now he realizes he has an even more difficult struggle in front of him. He has to shape the minds and the hearts of the Bani Israel. And to be able to do that, he needs the Tawrat. So he took the Tawrat, وَفِي نُسْخَتِهَا هُدًى وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلَّذِينَ هُمْ لِرَبِّهِمْ يَرْهَبُونَ, and in it is a guidance and a mercy for those who turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.